Greetings, geeks! Here we are with another Wizards Hall video, but we're going to be doing something special this time around. Well, I'm Adam, as always, and with me this time,
Mike Schwartz.
Mike Schwartz, the new host of Wizards, the podcast guide to comics. So glad to have you on the team, Mike, and especially excited to have you as part of our Hall videos because you're always out there digging through back issue bins. You have a whole Instagram account associated with that. Tell us about it.
Yes, well, I've told this many times on the podcast, but I had all of my comics stolen, and I first told my wife I'd never collect another comic again, and then I went back on that promise and decided I would try to recollect everything I had stolen through 50-cent bins because the pawn shop near me has 50-cent bins. My local comic shop has some deals where if I buy like 30 comics, I get them for $10. There's other comic stores around that have 50-cent bins. And so I created 50-cent comic collector account on Instagram where I share all of those. And I have quite the pile today, Adam. I actually have an entire box, but I to save people the boredom of seeing everything, I've whittled it down to a smaller pile.
Okay, well this is great. And I'm always excited to see what you select, what catches your fancy, whether you're sharing it online or now getting to share it in our videos here. So let's start going through the stack.
Okay, can I start with one thing I got this month that isn't from the 50-cent bin?
Okay.
I just wanted to share it because I don't think a ton of people know about it. So it's a graphic novel I just got. I don't know if you've heard of it, Adam. Have you heard of this book?
I have not.
It's like what if He-Man was rated R, okay? So this book is by this book is by Nick Patera, who actually did the cover to my comic Armored. So that's the comic cover you'll see on store shelves. This is by Nick. He's like super highly detailed comic artist and it's incredible. So this cover is by Dos Pastoris. I don't know if you're familiar with his art from like the 90s. He did a bunch of Marvel cards. So
Oh,
those old X-Men cards have some art by him. I'll just really quickly want to show this because his art it's if you're into the gore, like kind of cartoony gore, it is just filled with some crazy stuff. So like we're talking very detailed, very gory, very wild and crazy comic. I highly recommend people check it out. He crowdfunded this book, but I think he's still selling copies, and you can get them at cons and stuff wherever he's present. But I highly recommend it to anyone. If you look up Nick, look up his book, Axe Wielder John.
nice. Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
like a fun one.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, well, good. Speaking of newer books, I'll just share something real quick before we get into
Yes.
the back
Yes.
issues. So we
Okay.
recently had David Wohl, who's the editor in chief over at Zenoscope, on the podcast for an interview, and so I wanted to kind of support what he's doing. This is Oz, Kingdom of the Lost. This is actually issue 2. I got to go find issue 1, but I thought they were not offering Zenoscope books at my local comic book shop, but apparently it's because they're selling out right away. And
What?
so yeah, so Michael Canetti, of course, is a big fan of Zenoscope, and we've been doing this 3-part behind the scenes series with the creators and editors, writers over there. And so I just wanted to grab one more and see what it was all about. Again, just very fun fantasy adventure. You might know the Zenoscope reputation for their covers,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
there's so much more behind the covers, is what I found. So,
I gotta check that out. I'm an Oz fanatic, so I have to. Oh
oh
yeah,
yeah.
huge Oz fan. I have a huge collection. I'm a big fan of
Well, and
Return to
you'll
Oz.
want to
So.
check out their previous series, Return of the Wicked Witch. It has Mombi in it. It's like Mom coming back, and it's really
Oh,
cool.
don't tell
Yeah.
me that. Okay, yeah, yeah. Cool,
All right,
cool.
so let's
Okay,
see, yeah, see your pile here.
okay. So like I said, this is just me, trying to get the best stuff out that we could talk about. Okay, so it's in no particular order, Adam. So you just stop me if there's anything you're like, why that? Or okay, so I love Animal Man, and I've been slowly trying to get every one of these Animal Man books that Brian Bolland does the covers for. I'm a big fan of this. Also, big Green Lantern fan. I had all of my Green Lantern stolen. I'm very close to having the entire run of this volume, but I grabbed this one because it has one of those fancy DC Universe logos. You're familiar
No, so is
with
that like
that?
a direct market version, or what does that mean?
I don't know what it means. I know they're rare. People are always like, get the DC Universe logo one. So not the I don't I it might be direct edition, but I don't know why this is a rare thing. Keep an eye out.
Now we know, yeah.
Yeah, I had to grab this because we talk about Wizard magazine and stuff. I was not familiar with Dark Horse's Insider Guide. Were you?
I have a couple issues, yes, that I've picked up over the years, usually with aliens or Predator on the cover.
Yeah.
That was very big.
Well, these covers. Who's the artist again? Is it Doran? Is that who does these alien covers? I don't know.
Yeah.
But this is issue 1 and issue 2, so I had to grab it from the 50-cent bin. Uh, this series is interesting. This one in particular, I had to grab because I think this guy is a villain in the new Aquaman movie.
Oh, okay.
So I had to grab that, obviously. You know, I like my horror, so I had to grab one of these. This is the horror guide from 2005.
Interesting.
And this is weird. I know nothing about this manga verse, but I was curious enough to grab it.
Yeah, and so what era is that from? Is that like early 2000s? Because like I'm wondering, I know like they were trying to do the Marvel manga thing like early on in the late 90s, and then I think it came back. Yeah, okay.
It's 2002. I'm not a manga guy, so I don't know, but like, look at that Fantastic Four there, right?
That is an interesting take for sure. Hey, Mike, guess what? Someone else wants
Yes.
to come in and see your collection.
Oh,
Let's get
I
him
can't
on
wait to share.
here.
Yes, yes.
We spoke his name and he heard us. So here he comes, ready to check it out.
Goodness gracious.
Michael!
Hey, we were just going through Mike's stack of back issue comics. So let's show you what he's got here. It's pretty fun.
Okay, should I continue on where I'm at? And
Yeah.
You'll have to watch it, Michael. Okay.
That's fine.
Anyone that follows me on 50-cent Comic Collector knows I'm a huge Christmas comic fan. I've officially passed the 200 mark as far as how many Christmas comics I have. Here's a recent one. I actually got a huge stack of Archie Christmas comics recently, but I pulled this one out to share because it's Veronica Christmas Germany comic. Christmas in Germany.
Is it in German or is it in English?
It's in English, but she's in Germany, so I had to get it. I used to visit Germany all the time as a kid, and I was like, I have to. Veronica, come on. Again, I'm not a wrestling fan, but that cover.
Wow, that covers dynamite right there. Is that a
I mean,
90s comic?
Yeah, well, and Mike, do you have to have the one where he beats up Santa Claus already, right? Do you have that issue?
So I have the Warrior Christmas special, but it's just pinups.
Oh no, yeah, there's a whole story. There's an issue where he fights Santa Claus. It's just like the Lobo one, yeah.
Someone was telling me about that. Maybe it was you guys, but I don't. Someone has to tell me what.
We'll track it down. We'll figure out which issue for you.
I'm not a Warrior fan, so I'm learning all about.
Could you not be a Warrior fan?
I'm not a wrestling guy. That's the issue. So this is 96. 96. So,
wow, that's a good cover though, man. That's nice.
Yeah, you can't go wrong. Okay. A Born Again Daredevil in the 50-cent bin.
Oh,
you can't.
Not Christmas though. It's not Born Again on Christmas, something like that.
there is a Daredevil Christmas comic though. So I think
there is. Yeah. It's
fun. So this is an interesting book that I found in the 50-cent.
Oh, Jack Kirby, huh?
Wow. This is Jack Kirby's final work at DC.
Wow.
So keep an eye out for that one, everyone.
That's kind of cool.
Some Byrne Fantastic Four.
Wow.
That's cool literally in the back of Wizard 85, they were showing that image. They cut it out when they were talking about Byrne on Fantastic Four. So that's crazy.
That's funny.
And there's Doctor Strange and Thor in that issue too.
Oh yeah, this is kind of like a classic cover. I think. I don't know. Like it's pretty iconic. But this is a big one. I get lucky in the 50-cent bins, as you guys know.
You're a pro at it. I don't know how they just land in Canada somehow.
This was a great find.
Wow.
So this is what's Frankie Ray as the new
Nova
Galactus Herald.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I found 2 copies. I don't know where the other one is. I thought I had it somewhere, but I also got some more Fantastic Four here.
That first cover that you just showed us is gonna that one.
Yeah.
Based on the rumor mill about the Fantastic Four movie, that cover might be worth something because that's the theory that she's the Herald in the new movie.
Oh.
And I got lucky because I found 2 copies.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you guys need it, I have one. Although shipping it to America would cost me like $30. So.
Yeah.
It'd be more than it's worth.
This I already had, but I had to grab it again because I love sideways covers.
But I love them too. They're so cool.
The version I have doesn't have the tattoos. I have the Canadian version. This is I believe the direct edition. It has tattoos in it. You guys know about this one?
No, and it says it has temporary tattoos of the Fantastic Four. Or who?
Yes. And so when I picked it up, when I was looking through it, I was like, if it has the tattoos, I have to grab it because I don't have the tattoos. So it says, look for free Lakeside tattoo samples in this issue. Let's see what they are.
I don't know if I'd put that on your skin 30 years later.
Oh, wait. It isn't Fantastic Four tattoos. I don't know what the hell they are.
Yeah, just general
tattoos.
Tattoo designs.
But hey.
Still, it's an
50
insert.
cents,
Yeah.
You know what? These bare arms, they need.
That's
okay.
hilarious.
This one is a good find as well. I believe it's a reprint, one of the first reprints of First Punisher. So
I love seeing Spider-Ham in the corner box. That's what I always bought. Every Marvel Tales, if it had Spider-Ham, I was grabbing it.
Okay. Some Marvel Team Up.
Ooh.
I'm sure there's something with that issue. Now, I don't know how many listeners or viewers are Canadian, but this is a Canadian price variant.
Oh, yeah.
So we find those a lot in Canada, but they're pretty rare, especially in the US. You don't find them. They're the newsstand editions from Canada, so the price is always slightly higher than what the US had listed. I always grab those. There's a lot of collectors in Canada that exclusively collect Canadian price variants.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah. So just a little education, some Canadian education for you. Yeah.
Canadian education. I love it.
Some Marvel 2-in-1s. I always grab these just because I love
That's
Thing.
Cool.
Yeah. And then this is one of
Who's the Aquarian?
Yeah, the Aquarian. What a weird.
I don't know.
No idea.
Age of Aquarian.
Yeah.
So these, I should also mention, these are from my local pawn shop. So it's always very strange stickers because you'll see stickers from like other comic shops within Toronto. So Silver Snail is one of the biggest comic shops in Toronto. And I love just finding like, oh, this person paid $2 for these. Okay.
I love that you go to a pawn shop.
Oh yeah. It just sells collectibles though. It's just a collectibles pawn shop, and now they do jewelry too, which I just bypass immediately. So this is another Canadian price variant. I'm pretty sure. I'd have to look it up after, but it is one of my favorite covers from Marvel.
There's a video game arcade cabinet. That's interesting.
Yeah, have you guys seen this one before?
No, I've never seen it before. No.
Okay. Another price variant, Canadian price variant.
Wow.
With,
the living mummy.
Okay, so here's some other big ones. Are you guys ready? This is the biggest finds from this lot, in my opinion.
I'm dialed in. I'm buckled up here.
We got Thor, or what is his name? Throg. Okay, and I got it's a 3-parter, I think, or maybe it's a 4-parter, but I got the 3 biggest ones. 50 cent bin. I always tell people you got to spend your time in those dollar bins and 50-cent bins because.
But do you read them or do you just buy them and bag them and that's
No.
it?
I usually collect like if I can get 5, they go into a box where it's like I have to read these.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm always doing that. My problem is I always try to read my new comics, and then that long box gets longer and longer. I
know that.
I'm up to 3 long boxes of books I have to read, but I always grab the new ones. So I'm bad, Michael.
I knew we were friends because like I have all of those baskets underneath that cabinet are filled with comics. There's got to be 400 comics in there. My wife would kill me if she heard this.
Oh, but that's awesome.
wife knows about them because the long boxes are beside my
Oh.
my
But the argument you can make is, honey, they're 50-cent comics. I
Well,
didn't spend $4 a
hey,
piece or
hey.
$7 like the stuff I've got behind me.
That's my thing. I made
just
that
Set
clear.
money on fire.
I'm only going to spend 33 cents, 25 cents, 50 cents, maybe $1 here and there. Okay, let me continue. I'll get through this quickly. This is a time variance cop first appearance, you know, with Loki. I don't know if you guys are fans of Loki.
Uh-huh.
I had to grab this. Maybe he'll show up in the MCU. I'm always looking out for that stuff. Okay, this one's hilarious. I'm like you, Adam. I've been collecting the Neymar Byrne books.
Yeah.
But this is after he's long gone. But this is Namor's son, I believe.
Oh.
First
Weird.
appearance. I'm pretty sure. Again, I'm sure there's people smarter than me. Or
Yeah, I was
with
gonna
more
say, because I knew
knowledge.
there was an era where Jay Lee was drawing the book, and this looks like it's even after that.
This is
Yeah.
after that, but I'm pretty sure, and I'm banking on the fact that this guy will show up in the MCU. That is great.
In the third Black Panther film.
Yeah, this one is so weird. I Riverdale.
Oh, that's the adaptation of the TV
the
movie.
NBC
Crazy.
movie. Yeah, I don't
Wow.
know anything about the movie, but
Our
I'm
buddy
pretty
Steven
sure.
Sapellis, I'm sure he had.
Yeah, if he was
Yeah.
on, he would know. I'm also pretty sure that this is a Canadian price variant, so even more rare than the movie itself.
Wow.
Silver Surfer was one of the comics I bought from like a collector when I decided to recollect. It was basically worked out to 50 cents for every comic, but here's one I was missing still: Dracula versus the Silver Surfer. Can't go wrong.
I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
trying to think in my head.
Yeah. Spider-Man's another one I'm still trying to collect slowly, so I always grab these. And this one has one of those metallic finishes. You
Ooh.
probably can't tell.
Yeah,
Like
it
metallic
doesn't quite
up.
pop,
You can
but-
see the sheen a little bit to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, is that one of the flip ones? Yeah. See, I
Yeah.
have the Planet of the Symbiotes series. I love those. Yeah.
I'm still trying to get them all, Adam. So, and I have this one I remember as having as a kid. This is the one where
So the
it's a die
bars
cut.
actually are die cut.
It's die
Yeah.
cut, yeah. So I have a newsstand edition that's not die cut, so I had to get this. All right, here's another one that I thought was a pretty good find. So the importance of this issue is it's a new Ms. Marvel.
Oh.
She's
Sharon
introduced
Ventura,
in this
yeah.
one. Sharon. Yes, exactly, Sharon Ventura. And then in this one, she gets her costume. She
I
officially
like that costume design though. That's kind of a cool costume
Yeah.
design.
I was hoping she'd show up in the Marvels. Did either of you see that movie?
I did, yes.
Yeah.
And I, without going too far off the rails here, as I normally do,
Yeah.
I really did like the movie, except for the fact that I feel that in Endgame, we saw the fully realized Carol Danvers as like the true Captain Marvel. And I feel that they took some of that away in this movie and made her more like unsure of herself, where she seems so sure of herself in Endgame, and it's like a different character entirely, which is sort of bothered me. But
Yeah, it's an
overall, the
interesting
movie was
one.
good.
I saw it with my daughter, and I think just her reaction to it and her love for it made me like it more. So I have no criticisms, just for the fact. Okay, coming up on the end, guys. More Canadian price variants, and it's the original Vision series. I just grabbed these.
That's
to get
cool.
the story. I don't know if they're worth anything. I don't know. And I couldn't walk away without grabbing some Wizard related merchandise.
Wow.
Again, not a wrestling fan, but hey, maybe I'll give it a shot. And I bought a whole bunch of what ifs, but this one seemed to be the most interesting to me. What if
I have
Trade-
that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Wow.
I mean,
That's
that's
it.
the movie I'm
Yeah.
anticipating. The Sony Marvel stuff is what I'm most interested in now, because it just feels like it's going to be different. It's going to be an interesting take. So
I
Yes,
don't
it
know if
is.
that Craven movie is going to be very good. I'm sorry.
Even I'm really looking forward to Madam Web, but
Yes,
I,
I am
I,
too.
I have to go in with low expectations.
Madam
Yeah.
Web cracks me up. It's like fake Spider-Man. I mean, this is amazing how far they're pushing it. They're like, it's Spider-Man. Come on. So,
Anyways, that's part of my giant pile. So I'm curious now to see what you guys got.
Okay.
Michael, I know you have a lot of new stuff. He's showing us some old stuff. Let's see some of your new stuff.
let's
That's
see.
what I'm
Sure.
curious about.
So I only grabbed a handful because, like I said, there's a lot back there. So, and I would say in the maybe 10 or 12 books that I have here, probably cost more than all of the books that Mike just showed us. So, first, I'm a big Art Gem fan. You guys know who Stanley Lau is?
Mm-mm.
So he did this cover for
White Widow.
And I don't know. I love the look of it. I think the design is really neat, and I haven't read it yet. Still, sitting here. So that's one. Now, recently in comics, the Black Widow has gotten her own symbiote, and now she is the main character in Venom.
Ooh, cool.
I think I have that one too. I
and-
randomly buy these and then don't read them, Michael. So have you read that one yet?
Oh, no. No.
Guilty.
So this one I bought 2 covers of. One is a like lenticular, like reflective kind of foil cover, which I have in a box that I'm gonna get graded at some point, like untouched. And then, but again, this is another cover that I love Supergirl covers, and this one is a Supergirl special that just came out. Again, have not read it, have not taken it out of the sleeve, just love the cover, bought 2 of them. This one was $7. The other cover was $8. So,
well, and speaking of Supergirl, we should mention on our Patreon this month, we are reviewing the Supergirl movie from 1984 with Helen Slater as part of our 90s Super Cinema bonus podcast series. So if you're interested to get our thoughts, Mike's going to be there. Michael's going to be there. Pete, his buddy from, Box Office 30 is going to be joining us. It's going to be a great conversation because there's a lot of passion for this movie.
So the next one I have here is a Power Girl cover. I think it was the Power Girl special, but it also teased DC's Fire and Ice. And again, I have 2 of these, one to read, one to keep in the bag and get graded. And again, it's another foil cover. I don't know.
Yeah.
I really like foil covers. I don't know why.
Is that pretty common these days still?
Yeah.
They're back into all the gimmick covers.
Oh, big time.
Well, just yesterday they had the Robin Lives. I don't know if you.
I'm going to buy it today. I can't wait.
Yeah, but they have a foil version, so make sure you get the foil one.
Yep.
It's our '90s hearts.
I know it really is. So speaking of 90s hearts, DC's World's Finest is doing sort of a revisiting of a very, very famous 90s story written by Mark Waid, and there's doing a World's Finest Kingdom Come Part 2 kind of thing. And so I have issues 1 and 2. Again, haven't read them, haven't taken out his sleeve, but I bought them. So
we're going to be talking about that, by the way, coming up on episode 86, the original time they tried to do a sequel in The Kingdom back from, the late 90s. So look forward to that discussion.
There's number 2 of it, and it's
that
kind of cross. So so that's kind of neat.
I got to read those.
What else do I have here? Again, I'm a big fan of Power Girl, and she's got her own series out now, and I loved the Amanda Connors Power Girl story arc, and now this is a different writing team. Again, I haven't read it yet. Coming out with beautiful covers. Here's a really cool, almost like Superboy-esque style that they're doing with her now, which is really kind of neat. Big fan of that. There's another Power Girl Action Comics. This is a Carla Cohen cover. She's my favorite cover artist by far right now. I have this one, another Action Comics. This is actually Steele's niece, and she's a like Superman adjacent Iron Man-y kind of character.
That almost looks like a photo. It's
That's what I was just gonna say. Did they
Yeah.
base that on a real actress? You're like, whoa.
This is all hand drawn stuff, and then she does it. It's really amazing.
Michael, do you know what comic does she first appear in? I don't know if I'm as a Steel character.
Oh,
Is it a 90? Like was she?
No, it's a 2000s. It's
2000?
the new Krypton story arc that happened
Gotcha.
back in like the 2009, 10, 11 era before New 52. He gives her an iron suit.
I remember that now. Okay.
It's steel suit.
Whatever.
We don't want any copyright infringement over there.
Exactly. Anybody who knows me knows I'm a big Spider-Gwen fan, and her annual was really beautiful. This cover, like this like ballet style cover. Again, hand drawn, pencils over paint, and just really, really nice looking cover. Haven't opened it, haven't read it. Nope. Anybody who knows me knows I love Miracle Man. And they released Miracle Man Zero when they started relaunching it. And I don't know, this cover just looks dynamite. It's really thick. This issue was, I think, like $9. I haven't read it yet, but it just looks beautiful. What else do I got here? I got a couple more to show you. Oh, so these next two are very interesting, and I'm fascinated by it. They're doing an American Psycho comic.
Oh yeah, I saw the
Yeah.
day. Interesting. Is it an adaptation?
Yeah, of some sort. I don't know if it's based off the movie or a sequel to the movie. I'm not really sure. Or based off the novel or a sequel to the novel. I haven't read a lick of it. But this is issue 1. Issue 2 came out today, which I'll go buy.
As a Misfits fan, I wish it was an adaptation of their album that they called American Psycho. That would have been awesome, but whatever.
Now another movie adaptation, a Basic Instinct book. I had to buy it. I'm like, I have to know what this is all about.
I mean, I know there's the TV series now, but this is based on the movie. How that's supposed to be shared.
No, you're thinking of Fatal Attraction.
Oh, you're right. Basic Instinct, Fatal Attraction. They're all there.
And that show got canceled.
This is an interesting trend, these adaptations, because I was looking in the previews guide last night and I saw The Fog is even getting an adaptation.
Is it really? Oh,
yeah,
wow.
it's just like tons of adaptations.
And so, last but not least, is the sequel to the Batman 89 comic that came out a year and a half ago, Batman 89 Echoes. I haven't opened it yet. I haven't read it. From what I know of it, a Harley Quinn version shows up, a new Joker-esque character, or maybe that's supposed to be Harley Quinn. I'm not really sure. I think Scarecrow and a Batgirl shows up. Haven't read it. Truth be told, I did not like the first one with the way they did Two-Face. I thought it undermined what the character could have been in the movies. But I'm just curious to see where this goes because I just love that whole 89 universe and I wanted to know where it goes next. Haven't read it, don't know. Didn't like the first one, so I'm not having high hopes, but I just had to get it. So those are my new stuff, other than stuff that I've gotten graded and whatnot that I haven't, but that's not really a haul. It's sort of just like bought. So, but this is my recent haul.
Okay, cool. All right, well, guys, my stuff is kind of more varied. It's a little all over the place in terms of the media here. So, first off, I just want to say, on the podcast coming up soon in the timeline, getting into 1999, is No Man's Land in the Batman books, and I never read it. I didn't dig into it back then, but I know one of the big things was that Greg Rucka, this novelist, is coming in and he's going to start writing comics. And so I decided while I was in the back issue bins that I would grab one of his runs between, this is like a Poison Ivy story, I guess, Fruit of the Earth is what it looks like. So I thought I'd grab the 3 issues that tied in there, which I didn't realize that it's the same story, the same writers and everything, but it's in the different titles. That doesn't make sense to me. I would think they would assign a creative team to one title and then it's like, no, okay. So that was nuts.
No Man's Land is so confusing because there's so many stories and they're all, I like it as a story, but it's so confusing.
Um,
I didn't even bother. There's just too many. I was like,
Yeah.
even seeing him in the 50 cent bin, I'm overwhelmed by them.
Yeah.
we'll dip our toe in to know enough for the
Okay.
podcast,
Yep.
I think.
We
But
will.
I have the
what
novelization somewhere too. I have the graphic, the actual
Oh,
novelization of it.
is it by Greg Rucka?
I think so. Yeah.
It makes sense, right? Get this guy in here. I was going to say, so one of our listeners reached out to us on social media and he's like, hey, do you guys have this in your archives yet? And I was like, no, I had no idea. And it is an issue of Thunderbolts. But as you can see here, it's promoting a wizard create a villain contest and the
Ooh,
villain that
wow.
appeared in an issue of Thunderbolts. And I maybe we just haven't come up onto this yet because this is 19 issue 19. So I was excited that he tipped us off to that. So thank you at You Boy Comics for giving us a head up on that because now we can be more complete in our collecting. Then going back, this is just every once in a while I just go like on a random eBay search and I try to find stuff and we have a lot of loose issues of Wizard that we just use for reference. Not every issue is polybag, so sometimes we miss out on the inserts. And one of those we were missing was this, this from a year or so back in the timeline, this Spider-Man flashback thing. But mainly, I want it for the Brian Douglas Ahern calendar. So this is, June 1997. So I just wanted to make sure I had more of
How
these.
do you even know what day it is? You can't even see the days. Just
I mean, you're not in it for the days, man. You're in it for the excitement and the trivia. So, also when I'm going through the archives here and I'm kind of trying to catalog stuff, we have almost every issue, including variant covers. But every once in a while, if you look at the front of Wizard, it tells you, okay, they had this, these variant covers, this is who drew it, whatever. And there was one we were missing that I didn't realize. I was like, oh, and it was this Fathom cover. So there were a lot of Fathom covers. There were a lot of Michael Turner covers. So I think I just overlooked this one. But now
What
we have
issue?
that. So Fathom's back, baby. I think this is for 2001. What is this? Let me see here on this one. Yeah, November 2001. So it's just, I was glad to have that. And I don't know. There we go. There's a little Joker on the back too.
Nice
Um,
laugh. That's a classic storyline.
yeah.
Yep. Then so this is another thing that if I can kind of show it above, you see the light, but you see we have these posters up on the ceiling. Those are Wizard posters, and I'm slowly covering the ceiling of Wizard HQ. And one, we also have the posters in the frames back there. And one that I was hunting for the promotional posters that hung up in the comic book stores was when the X-Men movie came out. Okay. And this is usually selling for a lot. But this one I got a great deal on. So there's Hugh Jackman Wolverine soon to appear in Deadpool 3, right? But the best part about this, it's Joe Gisco. You're getting, the painted look at Wolverine.
Doesn't
So
have any folds in it. That's a nice like a roll. There's no
yeah,
folds in it. It's like wow.
usually they're folded in fours, and so
Yeah.
it's nice that it was not. But then there was a second copy that was attached to it, which when I bought it, they didn't say you get two copies of it. So I already put that up on the ceiling because it was a little ripped, it was a little miffed. I was like, okay, we'll just tack it up there. Who cares? Speaking of Wizard memorabilia, though, we're going into the holiday season here, and a Wizard staffer, former guest on the podcast, Mike Fasolo, who's one of the writers on Robot Chicken, who moved on from Wizard to that adventure. He contacted us. He reached out and he said, "Hey, I have something you might be interested in for your archives. I was just going through my old stuff. I don't need any more." This is a Wizard jersey. Okay, let me see if I can get the logo on the screen there. This is a Wizard baseball jersey. If you ever read the bullpen section in Wizard magazine, they would play softball and baseball against comic book like publisher teams and then also like just creators and things. But his nickname was Mike the Knife Fasolo. Okay, so this was his jersey, and it has the sweat stains and everything still on it. So this is pure and authentic.
Oh my god.
Smells like the 90s. Anyway, so thank you,
Smells
Mike,
like
for
a
that.
mothball in basement.
But that was just super awesome. Who knows? Maybe some other jerseys will make their way. We'll get them all, put in a frame, a shadow box or something. last thing I wanted to show you here, we're talking about comics, but I did pick up a toy this week. I was at Ross doing some holiday shopping. Got to go through the toy aisle because you never know what deals you'll find, right? I don't buy new figures usually. But of course, if I see Spider-Man 2099, I'm gonna grab it, right? So I'm looking at this. I'm just kind of, I don't buy these Titans figures. They're giant. I don't have room for that. But I looked at it and I start reading the back. And on the back, it starts giving the bio. And it says, Miguel O'Shea became a web-slinging hero to battle evil in the year 2099. And I said, Miguel O'Shea? I've been reading
Who's
Spider-Man
that?
2099 since the 90s. This is Miguel O'Hara. A movie just came out. My 5-year-old knows his name is Miguel O'Hara. Miguel O'Shea? What are we talking about here? And then I looked at it even further. Look, his eyes are filled in with white, but the design right here, he's never had white eyes. So this is official. This is a Hasbro release. And I was like, this is like an official bootleg. They did a terrible job putting this figure together. And so a friend of the podcast, William Bruce West, he looked into it and he's like, oh yeah, Hasbro actually has that problem on several Spider-Man 2099 releases. They call him Miguel O'Shea. So now I want to collect all the Miguel O'Shea variants. He's my new favorite Spider-Man 2099.
So he's Spanish and Irish?
Well, he always was Miguel O'Hara, but Miguel O'Shea is just like, I don't understand. Like, where did it auto correct and nobody checked? Like, I don't know.
It's
So-
kind of funny that Hasbro just laid off 1,100 employees and just partnered with McFarlane to take over making a lot of their toys. I wonder why.
Get it right, Todd. Miguel O'Hara, the next 2099 release. But wow, so yeah. So anyway, that just cracked me up. And if you guys have a line on all the Miguel O'Sheas, you tell me.
That's all I'm going to be looking for now.
Yeah, keep an
That's
eye
it.
out. But anyway, guys, this was so much fun. I'm glad that we get to do this as a trio now. You know, I was running solo for a while, and that's fun to share what I have, but getting to see all your collections as well, it fascinates me. So thank you, everybody, for checking out this video. Make sure you're subscribed here on the Wizards, the Podcast Guide to Comics YouTube channel, but you can find us at wizardscomics.com to get all the archive of over 250 podcast episodes, interviews with staff members. Check out what we've done there with bonus episodes and everything else. Of course, you could also join our Facebook group. You can get on all the social medias. You'll find us at Wizards Comics, except on Instagram where it's Wizards_Comics. We'd love to hear your comments here on YouTube down below. So tell us if you know where the O'Sheas are or everything else, what your favorite variant cover that Michael was sharing or the old stuff that Mike had. So anyway, this is super fun. Thank you for joining us. And hey, until next time, keep your books bagged and boarded.